Hey guys, a lot of you have been asking how I edit my photos. To be specific, the final touches such as the colors, the grading, the vinyl filter you would say. So what I've done is I've created a preset pack collection that you can use. These are literally all the presets I use at the moment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk through these presets, show you how to use them, and if you guys like them, you can grab them at my store. That way you can also support me, which is amazing. So yeah, let's get straight into it. Alright, so what I have here is just a bunch of different photos I've taken. I'll be applying my presets to each photo, showing you how to use them properly, showing what you can do with them. All of them are very different from each other, so you're getting a variety of different presets. It's not just a similar style. So the first one that we have is Autumn Orange. Essentially what this preset does is when you apply it, it changes your greens to orange. There are some radial filters. These radial filters can be deleted or played around with depending on what your subject is. One gradient filter as well, just a bit of brightness and exposure. So let's just try this filter with another photo which has green in it. Let's just get this one for instance. So I'm going to apply the Autumn Orange to it, and straight away, not bad, gives us that orange autumn feel. So what we're going to do is, just to make it that slightly bit better, we're going to play around with the radial filters, and we're going to make this a bit darker just to get that moody feeling, and then bring in the radial filters, and then that really brings the attention more to the building itself. So yeah, we went from this to this. Alright, next one that we have is called Black Ice. This is what you get. So this was the before and this is the after. What's included in this, there are two gradient filters that you can play around with, and depending on your subject you can bring up the exposure, darken it, whatever suits your needs. And let's just try a darker image for instance. So here we have an image of the town at night, rainy day. So we're going to apply black ice to it, and as you can see, it's too dark. You want to bring up the exposure a bit just so that you can actually see the image, and boom, this is what you get. The difference already, look. No preset. It's just a nice color. It gives that orange and teal vibe, but it's not too teal, it's more like a darker tone to it. Okay, next up, Crispy. So Crispy is actually my most used preset. So let's just have a look. So this is what we get. Just really makes the image crispy, I guess. You have a radial filter for the subject, and that is it. There's a bit more clarity. Depending on your photo, you can also bring up the exposure, darken it. What I also like to do with this preset is bring down the saturation sometimes, just to give that more authentic look, but that's up to you obviously. You can change around the temperature as well to your suiting, to your liking. So you can make it more blue if you like that, or green, I don't know, but I just think this filter looks very authentic. So let's just try this filter with this portrait. So Crispy, and boom, it is a bit dark, so what you can do is bring up the exposure. A lot of these presets are set to make your image darker, so if they're already dark, you might want to bring up the exposure on them. And there we go, this is what we get. You can also play around with the colors, temperature, see what works, see what doesn't. But yeah, great preset. Next up, we have H2O. Now this is a really unique preset. I don't think this preset will work for all of your photos, but it's definitely one of those presets that if it works, then it works like a charm. It's really different from the others. So what it does, it makes your images bluey green, so it gives that underwater feeling. So for instance, we have this image of me surrounded by sharks and bubbles, and how do we make this look like it's underwater? Apply this filter, boom, blue green, works like charm. So you can see with the town, it just gives that bluey green feeling. It doesn't work for all images, but it works for some if you're trying to get that underwater feeling. Now, Just Gray. This is a pretty out there preset as well. I really like this preset because it removes all your greens and blues from your photo. So let's get this image, for instance. A lot of green in this photo. What I do is just apply just gray, and boom, gets rid of it. And your subject stands out. You have a radio filter as well. You can play around with the exposure depending on if you want to bring out your subject more. And one gradient filter at the bottom for darkness if you want to play around with that. But it shouldn't be too much of a problem. Let's just apply it to something else just to see. So another image where we have a lot of green, just gray, and boom, you get just gray. You literally get what it says, just gray. Let's try with this one, just gray. There we go, just gray. Let's just try it on this one as well. So yeah, you get the idea. It makes your images gray. Your reds and yellows and oranges still stay intact, more or less. But everything else turns green. Now MOCHA, this one's really good. This is more or less of a subtle one, so it will work for most images. It makes your images more brown, but like a nice brown, you know? Just watch. So add MOCHA, boom. That's the after and this before. Look at the difference. There's just something cozy about that. Yeah, let's just apply it to another one. MOCHA, boom. Really nice, really nice. So yeah, let's apply it to a portrait. Boom, this is what you get. Okay, Mystical Blue. Mystical Blue is a lovely filter. I came up with this filter pretty recently, actually. I used it for one of my edits. Here it is, Mystical Blue. Like, the difference is just the before and the after. It's amazing. It's pretty cool. And you have two gradient filters. One set to a higher exposure and one to darker exposure. So you can play around with that. If your image is too dark or bright, you can change it around. Really, you know, play around with it. See what works, see what doesn't. So yeah, Mystical Blue, pretty cool. Let's just try it with other images. Boom, Mystical Blue. A bit too dark at the bottom, play with the gradient filter at the bottom. Bring up the exposure a bit. Nice. Bring that one down a bit. And just that subtle. See that subtle grade? It's amazing. I love it. I love this filter. And then let's try it with another one. With some blue in it. Mystical Blue. Amazing. Bring down the exposure of this one because it's too dark at the bottom. Or bring up the exposure, I should say. And once again, amazing. Pretty cool. Let's just try it with this street one again. Why not? Mystical Blue. Bring up the exposure because this image is just dark by itself already. So too bright at the top. So what we want to do is get the gradient at the bottom, bring up the exposure there, and look at that. Look at these colors. Look at these colors. Wow, that is amazing. Just slightly brighter, I think. Make the top a bit darker as well if you need to. Make this one brighter. And wow, yeah. There's the after. There's the before. The difference. Okay, pastel pink. This is another unique one. So this might not work on all of your photos, but it's definitely like a preset that if it works, then you're sorted. It's amazing. So this preset works really well with like overexposed images, I feel like. So let's get this one. A lot of white in it. Not overexposed, but a lot of white in it. So we apply the pastel pink. Boom. You get a nice pastel pink. After, before. Amazing. Apply the pastel pink to this one. And it gives that slightly warm pink feeling to the photo, if you know what I mean. And let's try it with this one. There we go. It does affect the skin tones quite a lot. So if you're using this for your skin tones and if you're not happy with it, what I do recommend you doing is going into your HSL color and bringing down the red saturation just a small bit. Just a small bit. And that way your skin isn't too red. So there we go. Let's just try it on a different one as well, because why not? Pastel pink. Boom. Bring up the exposure a small bit. Not too much. Oh, look at that. A nice pink image. Our second last preset, retro. So let's apply it to this photo. Retro, boom. Gives that feeling that is like slightly old school. Brings in those purples, bit of paint brown, and your blacks are like more matted, I guess. Bit of grain to it as well, so if you don't like the grain, you can always remove that with no grain, but I feel like the grain adds to the photo, so you know, that's what I'm going with the retro filter. Let's apply it to a different photo. Retro again. Boom. Retro. Looks retro. It literally does what it says. Makes the image look old, I guess. Old and retro. Boom. There we go. Try it with this one. Try it with this one. Gives that retro feeling. Try it with this one. Bring up the exposure. And look at that. It looks like an old photo. It looks like an old photo. There we go again. That one kind of looks like it's been taken on a Polaroid. And finally, Viridian Green. Probably my most favorite preset. This filter is amazing. I'm pretty sure this filter works like on every photo you have. So let's just try this one. Viridian Green. Boom. Look at that. Look at the greens. They're so nice. It gives that like washed out look to it. Let's just, for the sake of it, let's try it on all our photos. Viridian Green to this one. Amazing. Viridian Green on this one. Amazing. Viridian Green. There we go. Look at that. Viridian Green. It just looks nice. I feel like this is the best preset in the pack because it works on literally 99.9% of all photos. So this is your go-to if you can't figure out what you want to do. So there you go. That's the 10 presets that are in this pack. If you like what you see, check the link in the bio. Get yourself this pack if you're into color grading and stuff. If you have any questions, leave them down below as well. I'll be happy to answer them. Thanks for watching. Good luck.